they'll struggle, which is good. I mean, it's about time they struggled. One little mistake, and that's it.
Before reaching the hills, there were 2 stages on the valley floor. It was here that Lee Rose and Piers Dakin picked up a puncture, making the decision to drive on it. But the loose tire tread ripped off a brake pipe, forcing them off the pace for the remainder of the loop, and they dropped to 3rd.
Usually, the BF Goodriches are quite good, they don't unravel, but it just went sort of 700 meters before the end of the stage, it let go. So we had to do the God's Bridge stage with no brakes. So we lost a lot of time, it was very scary.
This gave the rally lead to Alistair Kavanagh and Gavin Lawrence. They were consistently 2nd fastest, which was sufficient for them to increase their leading margin on each stage, and by the 2nd service halt were ahead by 80 seconds.
We're not actually very quick today. Our times haven't been that good. We dropped a lot of time on the first stage. I was far too cautious there, but yeah, I mean, I think we're in first place, but by sort of default at the moment. But let's see what happens. There's a couple of stages left to go.
Balder Chagga and Raju Semi also moved up a place and were now in 2nd. But any chance of chasing Kavanagh was lost when the centre-diff traction control stopped working. In the car, it all looked calm, but underneath the veneer, it was a tense drive as they fought hard to keep the car on the road.
It's just a nightmare to drive. You're going down in a straight line and you're trying to keep it on the road, and it's just like once it has its own mind. It's like the rear wheels have got their own steering kind of feeling. So the confidence level is not there.
The crew on the move were Carl Tundu and Tim Jessup. They took advantage of being first on the road to be fastest through each of the next 3 stages, including the God's Bridge section. They overtook Anthony Nielsen for 4th, but climbing any further up the leaderboard was probably going to be out of reach.
I had a clean run through here, apart from I probably drove for about 10 k's with a puncture, but didn't have to stop, so that's 2 punctures. Yeah, my run of no punctures is gone. I wanted to get through clean, which I did.
Anthony Nielsen and Mike Ogopit were comfortably getting through the stages at their own pace, knowing that at this stage, to go any faster could jeopardize their chances of a good result. They were in 5th, ideal place should any of those ahead falter. A crew who normally feature in the top 10 are Assad and Salim Khan, but they were not having a good outing. Apart from that off, they had gearbox problems right from the start, which deteriorated with each passing stage. It eventually ceased altogether on stage 6, and they were out. Imran Moghul and Atul Kochar continued to impress the pundits. They were setting consistently quick times, but were in a bubble in 6th, and only needed to maintain the pace to secure what would be their best ever finish. Having only returned to rallying after a break of nearly 10 years, Hardip Resi and Ravi Soni were putting in an impressive performance, especially considering the pace of rallying in Kenya has increased tremendously during their absence. They were in 7th, thoroughly enjoying just being back in the sport.
It was unfinished business, to be honest. And I thought, look, I worked so hard, why not? Get back into rallying, enjoy your life a bit. And that's why I'm back here. But the pace has really picked up, man. It's hard to keep up with these boys. Very hard.
The top 10 is normally reserved for Division 1 drivers, but on this rally, there were some surprising names appearing high on the leaderboard, including the Division 3 leaders of Galib Haji and Surinder Saddle. Having been forced to recce during the previous night, they ended up with little sleep, and despite feeling jaded, they were going quick enough to claim 8th.
We went for a late recce, and we had 2 punctures. So we got out of the stage in Tengiz at about 1:30 at night. Slept for about 3 hours, so I'm really quite slow today. My reaction times are terrible. But
Azhar Anwar and Julius Gige were still dogged with problems with their car, which challenge had now extended to include faulty electrics and computer management. In their frustration, they were resigned to just go as fast as they could, and remarkably climbed 10 places up the leaderboard to 9th.
It's a combination of center diff and the electronics that control the center diff. I can't go quickly because the car's nervous. It's not behaving. It's working fine. Suddenly it stops working and I'm off into the bush.
Charles Hinga and Norris Ongalo were once again behind the wheel of a Mitsubishi. Between rallies, the engine had been out and they were faced with a host of problems. But even with the engine overheating and fading brakes, they still proved they will be formidable contenders. But not on this rally. They were lying 10th when the clutch packed up and they were out on stage 7.
I would have loved to finish because I was actually trying to see whether I can get to the top 10. That was my aim. Unfortunately, it won't work out today because I'm not able to finish, but we'll get everything else sorted out and next time I'm sure we'll do well. Yeah.
Also losing 10th place was Sham and Sunny Wasson in their hybrid Subaru Impreza. They only make infrequent appearances, but never have we seen them so committed. After a good start, they slipped back when a tree got in the way. The now vacant 10th place was claimed by Said Hamad and Victor Okundi, who were pleased to have got this far into what they were finding to be a tough event. Despite all their years of rallying, they still find every event a challenge, with each one gaining them valuable experience. With 4 stages and 50 kilometers of motoring remaining, the leaderboard had all changed. Alistair Kavanagh held the lead and Baldev Chaga was precariously holding on to second, with Lee Rose and Carl Tundo both breathing down hard on him. At the end of each loop of the stages, the crews tackled a 1-kilometer spectator stage adjacent to the service park. The times achieved made little impact to the results, but it did give the local community and the rally fans who follow the sport from all over the country the chance to see the cars in action. For the record, Imran Mughal and Atul Kochar took the stage win, fastest by 3 seconds. The two-wheel drives are just as much performance machines as any other car in the event and are preserved purely for the competition. The championship was at a crucial point, with Leonardo Baresi out in front by the narrow margin of 7 points. And with the competition so tight, there were no favourites for victory. On the start line, there was a tense moment for Varesi and Karevi as they frantically tried to get the intercom to work. They found the fault just as the flag dropped, but it made for an uneasy start to the rally.